This is our final day in Ecclesiastes, and I want to end with some words about wisdom. And in chapter 9, verse 17, he says, "The quiet words of the wise are more to be heeded than the shouting of a ruler among fools." He goes on in the next verse to say, "Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one bungler destroys much good." Really is something how you can look in the world, look in life, look in our country, and it takes so many people quite often to do something that is good and significant and we hope lasting and has a positive impact, and yet one bungler, one negative person, one person whose motives are not good or positive or godly or helpful can destroy much that has been built. And it can happen much swifter than we often think is possible. But I just want to direct you especially to this phrase, the quiet words of the wise. The quiet words of the wise. Wise people don't tend to shout and make a big scene and draw a lot of attention to themselves. And yet it's in the quiet words of the wise that we find godly counsel and advice that helps to keep us on the right path in our life. And the quiet words of the wise, Ecclesiastes says, are much more to be heeded than the shouting of a ruler among fools. A shouting ruler in the midst of fools is a bad combination for any state, any country, because it tends to lead to all kinds of corruption and greed and abuse of power. And that's obviously not the way any nation wants to be. And none of us also wants to be a fool. And part of what both Proverbs and Ecclesiastes are trying to do is guide us in the way of practical wisdom, of learning how to control our temper, recognizing what season of life we are in, guarding our speech so that we are not talking too much and that we're not shouting or trying to stir things up or unduly attract attention to ourselves. We want to live lives that are marked by wisdom, which is knowledge applied to life. None of us wants to be thought of as a fool, but as a church sign I saw recently said, ignorance knows no boundaries, but it knows a lot of people. And we don't want to be one of those people who's thought to be ignorant or a fool and who easily listens to a shouting ruler, for example, who may not be filled with wisdom.